Well, well. Durud, patriots, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and welcome to day 107 of Iran Revolution Live with your wonderful and amazing host, Armin Navabi.
And your wonderful and amazing host, Goldie Gamari.
Gosh, Armin, I'm back.
Yes, we have her back, guys. We got our Goldie back. I mean, she got herself back, to be fair. But yeah.
You know what? I couldn't have done it without you and everyone who was supporting me and helping me raise awareness about this. And also like things happening behind the scenes. But thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate that. It has been a crazy 24 hours. But I just want to say, based on that, I'm now also live streaming on Kick and on Twitch. So not just Rumble and X and YouTube, but I created a Kick account and a Twitch account as well. I don't know how they're going to go, but they're there as well as a backup. But guys, it is so great to be back, and thank you all for everything that you did. And I still haven't figured out what's going on. There's someone from behind the scenes, from YouTube, like a real person who's now reached out to me. But what's interesting is that I tried all day to get YouTube's attention, and after I posted this video on YouTube and on X and Rumble, about 15 minutes later, I got an email from YouTube, and then that's when I realized, oh, okay, like my live streaming ability is back. But I'm still very, very concerned, Armin, because I still don't know what happened and why that happened. So it doesn't mean that it can't happen again or won't happen again to me or you or someone else, because it's very, very strange what happened. And it's just frustrating because we are the voice of Iranian people, especially. Wait, let me just move something here. We're the voice of Iranian people, especially in the English language, right? And now we're getting to a very critical point, and silencing our voices when the voices of 90 million Iranians have already been silenced, it's wild. It's crazy. And we have to make sure this doesn't happen again to me or anyone else, because we, like Armin, we are going to share videos of people holding guns, and we are going to share videos of people, like we've shared videos of Islamic regime terrorists shooting, or Iranian freedom fighters shooting back. And I mean that is within the fair use, because it's news. Like, we're sharing updates about what happens in occupied Iran. So YouTube really needs to figure out what's going on here, and I still want answers.
Yeah. So what do you think happened? Like, given you mentioned that you saw some other channels experiencing the same thing when they are showing weapons on their live streams, right? Is that what you think happened? Like, it's a bug within the AI detection, like algorithm or something like that, and they have like, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I guess I think that's what happened, because that same thing happened to David Wood, and he, like, his live streaming capability was taken down for at least 24 hours as well. And he posted about it on X, and I do have that X thread, and I'm more than happy to share that and go through that, because what happened to him is pretty much exactly what happened to me. Because, and I actually made a video. Do you want me to share the video where I just kind of explain and go through what happened?
Yes. Yes, please. Yes.
All right. Okay. Let me just bring up the video. Sorry, guys.
I saw you. I saw you had that there, so I saw that down there, so I was knew you're gonna pull that one way or another. And I was thinking myself, it's not gonna be a Goldie live stream without Rick rolling the audience.
You know, it's been a tough 24 hours, so I figured I will start off the
Oh my
live
god.
stream.
There you go.
I will start off the live stream with a quick joke just to,
Yeah.
lighten the mood a little bit, to, make everyone laugh. But okay, but here's the actual video for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, people are like, we needed that. I know. Listen, we all needed that. We all needed that. There you
Yeah.
go. Okay, guys. But here is the actual video that I made today. Hi, everyone. If you haven't heard by now, yesterday when I was live streaming day 106 of Iran Revolution Live, which I have been doing since December 28, when the Iranian Revolution started, my live stream was taken down by YouTube, and I wasn't able to bring it back up. And then when I tried to restart my live stream, I was told that my live streaming capability has been disabled. What's even crazier is the reason why YouTube disabled not only my live stream yesterday, but is now preventing me from live streaming on my biggest platform. So I received an email yesterday, and YouTube is basically saying, hey, Goldie Gamari MPP, it looks like Iran Revolution Live with Iranian hosts Goldie and Armin, day 106, didn't follow our community guidelines. We removed it from YouTube. What we found: we think your content violated our firearms policy. Content that shows someone live streaming while holding, handling, or transporting a firearm isn't allowed on YouTube. Channels not in compliance with this policy may temporarily lose their ability to live stream. You can see an instance around 5:03:58, although there could be other instances. Are you kidding me right now, YouTube? Are you kidding me? Here, guys, look at this. So here is 5:03:58. Do you see that? Here, let me make this bigger, guys. How do I make this bigger? Here we go. This is 5:03:58. You see the timestamp? Okay, there's the timestamp. There's me, okay? There's me. There's me. There's Armin. And, we're watching this music video or whatever, which, by the way, this music video was available on YouTube. So we were broadcasting, playing something that was already uploaded and available on YouTube, and, presumably has passed all the YouTube checks, right? So this is what was going on at 5:03:58. Do you see a gun in this screenshot? Do you see a firearm? You can't even see my hands. I mean, unless you're talking about, these guns maybe, but do you actually see a firearm here? Because I certainly don't. In fact, I don't even own a fire gun, like a firearm or gun or, whatever. I don't even know the proper term for that kind of stuff because I don't own one. I live in Canada. It's illegal to have these sorts of things anyway without a permit. And in the last 106 days, in fact, never in my life have I ever live streamed myself brandishing or holding or carrying or whatever a firearm. I don't even own one. So anyways, this happened, and I was like, you know what? This could be just a misunderstanding. Maybe this is just a misunderstanding. Let me appeal this, decision by YouTube, because obviously it's unfair. Maybe it's like an AI thing. I have no idea. So I filed an appeal, and literally within 4 minutes, and guys, I have the timestamp in the emails, okay? So when I got the initial notice, like when I got this notice, okay, the time difference between this notice and the appeal, 4 minutes. So I appealed, YouTube's obviously erroneous decision to take down my live stream and block me from live streaming, within 4 minutes, this is the email that I got. Hi, Goldie Gamari MPP. We reviewed Iran Revolution Live with Iranian hosts Goldie and Armin Day 106 again and confirmed it's not allowed under our firearms policy. What firearms policy am I breaking? Your video won't be put back on YouTube. We understand this may be frustrating, but we're committed to keeping YouTube a safe place for everyone. Our goal is to help you succeed on YouTube. Well, you're certainly not doing that, YouTube. You're certainly not helping me succeed when you are taking down my videos and then you are falsely accusing me of holding a firearm. What is it? Someone live streaming while holding, handling, or transporting a firearm. So how are you actually helping me succeed on YouTube when you are falsely accusing me of live streaming while holding a gun, which I have never done and of course never will do? My entire show, Iran Revolution Live, is about being a voice for the Iranian people. That's what I have been doing. That's what I have been doing for the last, not just 106 days, but for the last 10 years of my life. And now when we're getting to the critical point, now when we are getting to where things are escalating and heating up, this is the moment that you choose to block me from live streaming when 90 million Iranians have been shut off from the internet for the last, 45 days now? The internet in occupied Iran has been shut down for the last 45 days. 90 million Iranians do not have a voice. They are unable to speak out because the terrorist Islamic regime that is occupying Iran and occupying them does not want the world to know what they think. That is literally the reason why I have been live streaming day in and day out for the last 106 days, so that at least someone can be a voice for people in occupied Iran. My appeal was rejected within 4 minutes. And then when I went to the YouTube creator studio and I tried to speak with someone there, I was told by the manager that the decision is final and there's nothing they can do about it because my video was thoroughly reviewed. Oh, really? Really? Does this look like something that has been thoroughly reviewed? Where do you see a gun here? Where do you see a gun at 5:03:58? And what's even worse is that when I was speaking with a manager in the YouTube creator studio dashboard or whatever, and I said, well, what evidence do you have that I'm carrying a gun or holding a gun? And then that person said to me, well, I don't have the specifics. I don't have access to the specifics, but we trust our internal review team. So obviously there's a disconnect between the support on the YouTube dashboard versus the internal review team. And how is it that the internal review team can just operate with impunity, right? And no one can challenge their decision? How am I supposed to get in touch with someone? This is literally a life or death situation. And meanwhile, I know this isn't only happening to me. This is happening to a lot of other YouTube content creators whose videos are being taken down and their ability to live stream is being removed because of this weird firearms policy. I mean, I heard about someone who was live streaming an active shooter situation, basically sharing the news, and he was taken down. I'm sharing news videos and content about the conflict in Iran. Of course, there's going to be people holding firearms. That's why I've made sure that I say my content is not intended for children. My content is for adults only because I'm sharing news, I'm sharing political analysis, I'm sharing commentary. So why is it that I am being penalized for sharing news videos? Meanwhile, this weird freak This weird freak here, who's part of the Islamic regime, he's posting videos about how he wants to take female American soldiers as sex slaves. Did you know that? Why is it that this jihadi terrorist Islamic regime mullah can post videos about how he is fantasizing about taking female American soldiers captive as sex slaves, as concubines, right? He can say that, and he doesn't get penalized for that. This weird, disgusting, gross jihadi mullah. And yet, when I'm sharing the truth, when I'm sharing videos of events that are happening in occupied Iran, I am the one that's being penalized. And now I am being silenced. So not only are 90 million Iranians in occupied Iran silenced, now my voice is silenced as well. Shame on you, YouTube. Shame on you. You're supposed to be an American company. Did you know, YouTube, that the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps is a listed terrorist entity in the United States? Did you know that? Did you know that the United States is currently at war with the Islamic regime? Did you know that President Trump has said that he wants to bomb them? What, would you censor President Trump for his statements? Would you censor Americans for their statements? Are you going to censor the videos that CENTCOM is uploading to their YouTube channel because their videos include guns and firearms and boom booms and bombs? Why are you censoring people who are sharing accurate, reliable news clips and sharing information? Why are you not giving the Iranian people a voice? Shame on you, YouTube. YouTube, right now, you are standing on the side of terrorists. You are taking the side of the Islamic regime. And remember, the Islamic regime is the enemy of the United States. To me, that sounds like treason. Fix this mistake.
That was powerful. Holy crap! You might have scared them. That's why it's fake. That's why your YouTube is back. You scared the crap out of them, Goldie. Okay. And Goldie, you're so right to say that this is a common problem. I was looking into this. Can I show it? Is it okay if I show some other people? Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Look at this. Look how stupid this is. Look at this person 5 months ago on Reddit was posting, showed an airsoft gun on live and I got banned. Help. He's saying, I was live streaming and I was watching another stream where they showed an airsoft gun with a clearly visible orange tip. My live was banned and I'm not allowed to live stream anymore because YouTube thought it was a real gun and I violated the firearm policy. Look, this is not even a political channel. Saying the live stream feature is disabled. I reached out to creator support and they wouldn't give me information on how long I am banned, and the appeal was unsuccessful. There you go. Basically, the only critical info I got out of them was that this was not a warning nor a strike. Has anyone ever experienced this? And now, and how long were you banned from live streaming? Any advice? So yeah, seems like it's so stupid.
You know, the same thing happened to David Wood. And,
Wow.
you know, I want to give a big shout out to David because David was such a huge help to me these last 24 hours. And, you know, David was really like, he was amplifying my posts. He was sharing my posts. He was commenting. But like the exact same thing happened to him. So listen to this. Like his experience is literally my experience. So he posted this on April 11, like 2 days ago. He says, if you want to know how massively dysfunctional YouTube is, check out this thread. Here's a screenshot of the moment Team YouTube says we were holding a firearm while live streaming. That's us on the right. Is anyone holding a firearm? No, but they took down our stream. So this is the image, right? So this is them. Okay. And then this was the moment. So it was like, I guess, a video of someone like doing target practice or something. Okay. And then he says, on the left is a TikTok video we were watching. There's a firearm in the TikTok video, but there's no policy against watching a TikTok video of someone with a firearm. And that's true, Armin. Like, there's no
Yep.
policy against us watching like news clips, right?
Yep. It's
Of
just
like,
us. It's just us who shouldn't be holding a gun. We
of
could watch
course.
other people. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing. There's a firearm in the TikTok video, but we're not holding it. We're share like
Yeah.
we're just sharing that. And
Yeah.
that's what he was doing. And then he says, YouTube sent me a notification explaining the takedown. They said, content that shows someone live streaming while holding, handling, or transporting a firearm isn't allowed on YouTube. Of course, we never did any of that. Just like me,
Yeah.
I never did that.
Right.
Since we weren't holding, handling, or transporting a firearm while live streaming, I appealed. As always, Team YouTube instantly rejected the appeal because no one on the trust and safety team ever seems to care. So, exact same thing that happened to me. Instantly, it was rejected. Then he says, I contacted Team YouTube here on X and told them that they had made a mistake. They responded by confirming that we were, in fact, holding, handling, or transporting a firearm, even though we weren't. I mean, at least Team YouTube got to them. Team YouTube never got back to me. Then he says, so I pointed out the obvious and they refused to respond because they don't care enough to actually fix their own mistakes. Okay?
No.
In theory, this wouldn't be too bad since YouTube claimed they didn't give me a penalty because I may have been ignorant of the policy, which we never violated. Same thing. I got the exact same thing. Appeal rejected, no penalty. That's the message that I got too. But in fact, Team YouTube did ban me from live streaming even without any strike or penalty. So here's how the system works. 1. YouTube's bots can't tell the difference between a streamer holding a gun and a streamer watching a video. 2. The bots take down your content because they suck. 3. When you appeal, the supposed human reviewers confirm whatever the bot did because they're too lazy to care. Number 4. When you contact Team YouTube on X, they say they'll look into it, but they too simply confirm whatever the bot did. 5. YouTube says there will be no penalty, but they penalize you anyway and ban you from streaming based on their own mistake. 6. There's nothing you can do to get them to fix their mistakes. 7. They do this to countless content creators every single day and they never, ever care. Welcome to YouTube. And then he says, P.S. to whichever incompetent Team YouTube reviewer is reading this thread, I hereby agree to give you $10,000 in cash if you can show me where we did anything you've accused us of doing. Should be easy since you've supposedly confirmed we did it. And then he says, update. YouTube sent me a DM saying they're going to take another look, but how many looks does it take to figure out that none of us has a firearm at any point in the live stream? And then it was eventually resolved. So, yeah, this is a big problem.
Yeah, I can. We need to thank David for supporting you. Like he's David Wood and also Apostle Prophet.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, both of them are really good. When like it's let me tell you something. Like David Wood and Apostle Prophet, none of them are atheists. And whenever Atheist Republic was dealing with issues like violations or attack, they were so kind to just be the first. Like when everybody was like ignoring us, it was always David Wood and Apostle Prophet that came to the rescue, always, every single time. And also Harris Sultan as well. But I just want to acknowledge that they're amazing. They're amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
Christian saving an atheist channel.
Absolutely. No, David is fantastic. And I actually did give him a quick shout out on my YouTube here on my X. So I basically said, seems like I'm finally back on YouTube, still waiting for an explanation and answer because I don't want this to ever happen again to me or anyone else. Thank you everyone for your support and helping me raise awareness about YouTube silencing me, especially Act 17 David, which is David Wood. So big shout out to him. Really appreciate everything that he did. So thank you for that. But there you go, guys. So that's pretty much, in a nutshell, what happened to me in the last 24 hours or so. But enough about me. Let's go to the news because so much has happened today. And like on the day that like so much is going on, I wasn't able to live stream, but we're back. So maybe we should just get right into it while we can.
Yes, Goldie, holy, like, is it okay if we put the chat here because it's blocking my name? Is it okay if we make it tall?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I didn't want to talk because didn't want to block you. Well, we can just get rid of the chat, and then whenever we share the screen, we can bring the chat.
No, we need the chat. We love the
Yeah,
chat.
but it blocks you, so I don't like that.
No, you know what? Now that the name of the channel is Liberty Politics, I prefer that not being blocked.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, like okay, block my face. That's fine. Just like I want more people to see the name of the channel. All right,
no problem.
But Goldie, look at this. A lot of what we said is being confirmed by JD Vance, that the real power is not by the people who are negotiating. The people who were in Islamabad, they're not the main decision makers. Like, they're not the main decision makers. They're being exposed. This is why I was like, get Vahidi, not Ghalibaf. Look at this.
I wouldn't just say that things went wrong. I also think things went right. We made a lot of progress, but we also made very clear, and I think this is part of the progress we made, what the terms where the United States could make some accommodation, what terms we were flexible on, and what things we absolutely needed to see in order for the president of the United States to feel like he was getting a good deal. And so we laid those things out. We had some good conversations. I think it was the first time that you had ever seen the Iranian government, the U.S. government meet at such a high level, maybe in the history of the current leadership of Iran. So that's, I think, a positive. And again, we did make some progress in the negotiation. The big question from here on out is whether the Iranians will have enough flexibility, whether the Iranians will accept the critical things that we need to see in order for things to get done.
Well, what are the red lines, like, for Iran, and what didn't they accept? Why are we at the place we're at now?
Yeah, so back out just a little bit, Brett. What the President of the United States has said is, number one, Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. So all of our red lines flow from that fundamental premise, because it is one thing for the Iranians to say that they themselves are never going to have a nuclear weapon. They are willing to say that, and that's good. But you have to, of course, verify these things. And there are two things in particular where the President of the United States really said we have no flexibility. We have to get to the outcome that the president said. On the first of those things, what some people call the dust, which is the enriched uranium that the Iranians currently possess, we have said that we want that to come out of their country, and we would like to take possession of it. Now, why does that matter? That doesn't matter, of course, because they have access to that material now. That material is actually buried underground by Operation Midnight Hammer. But if you think about this over the long haul, the president doesn't want to leave the next president or the president after that to be worrying about this program. And so we would like to get that material out of the country completely so that the United States has control of it. That's number one. And the second thing is that, again, to this point about verification, it's one thing for the Iranians to say that they're not going to have a nuclear weapon. It's another thing for us to put in place the mechanism to ensure that's not going to happen. Part of that is, of course, to ensure that they don't have the ability to enrich uranium, which is how they got so close to a nuclear weapon before. So those are really the two things where, frankly, the Iranians, I think, did make some progress. They moved in our direction, which is why I think we would say that we had some good signs, but they didn't move far enough. And so what we decided is, you know what? Given that we don't think this current team and this current timeline is going to be able to make a deal, let them go back to Tehran. We're going to go back to Washington, and that's where we are.
So here's the second video. Just let me, because I want to make sure we get to that point as well.
The country of Iran. Now, what's interesting, Brett, about this is that in the process of doing this negotiation, I do think that we acquired some knowledge about how the Iranians are negotiating. And this is ultimately why we left Pakistan, because what we figured out is that they were unable, I think the team that was there was unable to cut a deal, and they had to go back to Tehran, either from the supreme leader or somebody else, and
Vahidi
actually get approval to the terms that we had set. So again, whether we have further conversations, whether we ultimately get to a deal, I really think the ball is in the Iranian court, because we put a lot on the table. We actually made very clear what our red lines were. We also made clear, Brett, that we actually would be very happy. The President of the United States has said he would be very happy if Iran was treated like a normal country, if it hadn't come out of.
So, Goldie, this is a confirmation that Ghalibaf is not the main guy in charge. It's a huge confirmation, and I don't think it's Mujtaba. Okay, it's the IRGC, and right now that makes it Vahidi, Abdullahi, Zolgadr, Nejat. These are the people in charge. We finally got confirmation, and also Goldie. This is really difficult for getting a deal because what it seemed like Ghalibaf was very flexible, which means that the regime supporters are right, and he's a two-face. He's very flexible, but he's not the main decision maker. And even though he was flexible, he was not flexible enough for the Americans. So it seemed like they proposed, which is like really a big deal. They proposed to dilute the enriched uranium inside Iran instead of getting it out of Iran, which the Americans were like, no, you're going to get that out of Iran. And also, the Americans won a 20-year ban on enriching uranium. And apparently, the Islamic Republic won it under 10. I think it was 5 or something, which goes completely in line with the theory that the Islamic Republic, Ghalibaf, wants something that is sellable to regime supporters. Because if you get the enriched uranium, like even this, whatever Ghalibaf is recommending right now, even that is not sellable. Like that will make them go like crazy. But by getting 5 years and maybe not getting the enriched uranium out, he's hoping that he could find a middle ground to get the regime supporters quiet, but also by getting the proxies inside from Iraq, Pakistan, and Afghanistan, maybe they could also shut up the regime supporters. Not like maybe the point of all of these proxy groups is not just to shut up the anti-regime people, but also the pro-regime people. So that they stop complaining about being so flexible. And Goldie, all of this level of flexibility by Ghalibaf, to me, shows that they're really hurting. Like all of this are like we could do this, we're fine, we're fighting. Like this level of flexibility that they showed in Islamabad, it seems like they are really desperate to, stop the Americans from attacking them, and they're scared.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Ghalibaf and IRGC are, between a rock and a hard place because on one hand, they're basically trying to appease the Americans in order to save their own lives. But on the other hand, they're now worried about how they're going to be dealt with by Vahidi and the, IRGC. So it's a, not a good place to be. But, I have zero sympathy for them. This is the consequences of their actions, essentially, right?
Right.
And we're now seeing the consequences of, them FA, and now they're finding out. So, what's interesting is I actually saw a very short clip from Morad Vaisi. Someone asked Morad Vaisi, well, what's going to happen to Ghalibaf now that the negotiations are over and, he's back in Iran? And Morad Vaisi responded that, pretty much he thinks that Ghalibaf is probably going to be boomed next, right? Like that's what Morad Vaisi thinks here.
Yeah, Morad Vaisi has been saying that ever since Larijani was killed, and he thinks Ghalibaf is dead. And you're right, because President Trump also confirmed that the only reason the remaining people are alive is to negotiate. So if the negotiations don't go anywhere, they're going to be removed from the no-kill list, right? Because most of the killing of regime officials are done by Israel. And if you see some of them surviving, it's because the United States asks Israel to put specific people on a no-kill list. And when President Trump gets disappointed with certain people, then President Trump contacts the Israelis and tells them to, okay, he's fair game now. That guy is fair game now. That guy is fair game now. So yeah, and you can see that the Israelis have no problem reaching and killing the people that they want to kill. So if anybody is alive, is because they're showing mercy. It's not because they're doing a good job hiding.
Yeah.
And Goldie, like, I want to say this to Iranians because some Iranians are frustrated that why are the people on no-kill list? This is actually I know this is an unpopular thing to say to Iranians. This is actually in our interest. Getting the Islamic Republic to bend the knee will get us to regime change, and getting the Islamic Republic to go like them resisting and going full boom boom all the way, that is also going to get us to regime change. But it's cleaner if we could get it this done this way. It's cleaner, and we get to keep more of our infrastructure. So the fact that President Trump is trying this way is for your sake. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to, if they have to go for more of our infrastructure, the fact that Americans are trying so hard to find other ways is because of you. Like, they're trying to keep these things for you. I'm not saying they will be able to or not, but this is a cleaner, less bloody way of doing it to get them to tap out.
You're right. It is a less bloody way, but the challenge here is, will the Islamic regime actually recognize that? Because again, we're dealing with a brutal 7th century, um, you know, Shia cult, death cult mentality. So, I can see someone like Ghalibaf trying to, want to appease or whatever, because Ghalibaf seems more of like, an opportunist, more of like a pragmatic person. Like, he's still a hardliner, right? But he's not
Right.
like so indoctrinated. He's basically an opportunist. But the challenge he's facing right now is that he can't like be more quote unquote reasonable, because the IRGC won't let him, Vahidi won't let him, and he knows that. So they're all pretty much, I think, screwed.
Yeah. The issue is Vahidi and others don't let them because they have the pro-regime people insistent that we're going to stop supporting the regime if you do any sort of humiliating surrender. But this is why I wonder who's behind bringing all these proxies in, because Goldie, I think the problem we're dealing with right now is that the IRGC might, I don't know who's doing this, but if it's the IRGC, there might be a coup happening right now. There's 2 coups d'etats happening right now inside Iran right now. One is the boots against the turbans. This is what I usually like to refer to it. I think the boots are replacing the turbans. So the IRGC is basically, we're moving from a theocracy to a military dictatorship. But we also have the boots against the pro-regime people. I think the proxies, if we get too many mercenaries that the IRGC is willing to pay to suppress the pro-regime and anti-regime Iranians, at some point, maybe the pro-regime Iranians' insistence is going to be irrelevant, because the IRGC's plan is that if I have full control now over the oil and gas, all I need to do is to sell the oil and gas and use the US dollars to keep the mercenaries, the Shia militias that I'm bringing from outside happy. And basically, even the pro-regime people are unarmed. So even if they think that I accepted a humiliating defeat to the Americans, well, I'll shut them up because they have to accept what I'm doing. So that might be the strategy here. And again, that's why I think the only way to tip the balance towards it's easy to dismiss the Iranian people because the Iranian people are unarmed. And the only thing that shifts the balance towards taking the Iranian people more seriously is to arm them. And this is what President Trump was trying to do originally. And I think it needs to be attempted again.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I listen, 100% agree with that entire analysis. And all this basically, I think, is this kind of goes back to the initial sort of theory that I had, that everything that's going on is President Trump is just weakening the Islamic regime, because President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu are essentially leveling the playing field, that will enable and allow Iranians to overthrow the regime. And this time they will have a chance, right? Because back in January 8 and 9, even though, tens of millions of Iranians were out in the streets, they couldn't do it because they were unarmed. But now, United States and Israel are leveling the playing field. I mean, regime change is not the goal of the United States and Israel. It's not the official goal. And it shouldn't be, right? Because regime change should be up to the Iranian people. It's about the self-determination of the people of Iran. But what the United States and Israel can do is to weaken the Islamic regime. And this is where the interests are aligned. And this is where, the media and the lefties and the jihadis and communists or whatever, they're trying to twist the narrative, right? The United States and Israel already know that when the Islamic regime has been weakened enough, the Iranian people will rise up and overthrow the regime and reclaim the country. That is one of the main reasons that Israel and United States went in back on February 27, because they had strong intel, they had proof, they had documented evidence that Iranian people not only want to overthrow the Islamic regime, but Iranian people want to go back to being the normal, secular, democratic country that Iran was prior to 1979, right? Because if the United States and Israel thought for some reason that if they go in and destroy the Islamic regime, the situation is going to get worse, they would not do that. The reason that the United States and Israel are doing that now is because Iranian people have demonstrated and have proven, not only over the last several years, but back on January 8 and 9, Iranians proved with the shedding of innocent blood of over 45,000 innocent people in 2 days, they proved that we want not only regime change, but we want to go back to being friends and allies with the United States and with Israel. Like, we're done with the Islamic regime. We're done with being oppressed. We want to go back to what we had, and we've demonstrated that. And I think that that's why United States and Israel are now supporting the Iranian people.
Exactly. We have some updates from President Trump and some updates from inside Iran. What do you want to do first?
You go. You pick.
Okay. This is actually very interesting. I haven't watched this video, but the caption got my attention. So let's watch this, because the caption is.
I mean, don't get banned. There's a cardboard mushtaba there. We might get banned for the firearms policy.
I'm actually afraid that my microphone might look like a firearm. Hey, YouTube's algorithm. This is a microphone. Okay, this is a microphone. Just wanted to say.
And by the way, these are not guns. These are my biceps.
Those are that's not. Those are guns, actually. Okay, so banner. All right, let's continue.
Oh my god.
Okay. Okay, this is the real reason Goldie covers up, because we're trying to protect her from YouTube ban.
There we go.
All right, so let's watch this. So guys, for context, the pro-regime Iranians have stayed outside in the streets every night for the past 43 days now, to stop the anti-regime Iranians to come and do the toppling of the regime. So now this has also, ever since the ceasefire, these nights has also turned into discussion groups and debates. So, and people are asking their questions and their concerns, because they were like, what's happening? So let's see what this person is asking. So he's saying this is a question that I think is the questions of many of the people here as well. Goldie, he's coming over with an excuse for his question, and he was like, it's basically our enemies' media are spreading poison, but now this is a question for us as well regarding the health of our dear, loving supreme leader. Guys, they're like, where's our is our supreme? Do we actually have a supreme leader? That's what he wants to ask, but he's covering it. So he's flaring it up, like he's saying like my life for him, like we will sacrifice our life for him, blah 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 blah. It's like all of those like flowery stuff. So he's like for the sake of his health, for like we're just worried. Has anything happened to him? Has anything happened to Mujtaba? So he's like this is a concern among all of us, guys. You know what's happening? They're trying to politely ask, are you BSing us? This is like he's trying to come up with a very politically correct, polite way, an Islamically approved way of asking the regime officials, you guys are messing with us, aren't you? You guys are like, is he do we even actually have a supreme leader? So he's like, let me make a point with like information, like I actually have the information. So I asked the people who are informed. I've asked them. What the hell are they doing salawat for Mujtaba now? What? So he's saying Hazrat Ayatollah Sayyid Mujtaba Husseini Khamenei. All of that he said is just basically Mujtaba. Okay, all of that was just basically, it's like very flowery, polite, religious way of referring to Mujtaba. And then when he said his name, people are saying, what, they doing salawat for Mujtaba? They made him, what the hell? Goldie, they're doing salawat for Mujtaba now. I thought you only do salawat for Muhammad. Okay. So he's saying like he's completely healthy.
Can you explain what salawat is? Because I mean, like I definitely see that like this is insane that they're like giving a salawat, but could you like maybe explain to people like why this is like crazy?
Yeah, so when I grew up in Iran for the first 20 years of my life, we were told that you say salawat, which is Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Guys, by the way, when I go, this is just my reaction every time I do salawat. I can't help it. I always do that after because I think that's the appropriate thing to do, which is basically means blessing upon Muhammad and his family. That's what it means, right? And you're supposed to do that every time when you mention Muhammad's name, the Prophet Muhammad's name, every time. They didn't tell us to do that after you mention Ali's name or Fatima's name or Hussein's name or Mahdi's name, anyone's name. Only Muhammad gets the salawat treatment. Only Muhammad. And now these people are doing salawat after they name Mujtaba, somebody that they didn't even know much about. We knew about Mujtaba for the past, I would say, 5 or 7 years on our Persian channel, like everywhere the politically active people have been talking about Mujtaba for a long time. These people like figured out that Mujtaba is a big deal 40 days ago. All of these people. And now they're doing salawat for his name is mentioned after 40 days of being introduced to him, which is weird. Yeah, okay. Guys, even Imam Ali doesn't give this treatment. This is weird. Guys, somebody's saying I'm so confused. Was my explanation clear? Like, let me know in the chat did you understand my explanation? Because I want to make sure I explained it in a way that you guys understand. Guys, this is like, this is not just cringe to me as an atheist and to you guys, maybe as Christians or Jews or whatever. This is cringe to Sunnis. This is cringe to Sunnis because Sunnis consider this to be shirk, which is the biggest sin in Islam.
What's shirk?
Shirk is basically associating partners with Allah, basically making things that are not Allah holy. Okay, so things that are not Allah, making them holy is the only unforgivable sin in Islam. And Sunnis like consider Shias to be mushrikeen, which is the worst of all people, because they pray upon Ali, they pray upon Hussein, they pray upon Fatima, they have shrines for their bodies and they pray towards the shrines. And Sunnis call like Shias dead people, dead body worshippers. And for example, if you look at Sunnis don't consider even bodies, Muhammad's body to be holy. Like they think like even some Sunnis have lost their way if they consider the burial ground of Muhammad even holy, because they're like, we don't worship Muhammad, we only worship Allah, unlike these Shias who are worshiping like 12 imams and even the sons of imams and all of these other people. So that's considered shirk. And you know what? On this, I agree with Sunnis. That is shirk. That is definitely shirk. Okay, so let's continue. Wow, he's saying Mujtaba is completely healthy. He's alive and healthy, and his face has no, like, there's no damages to his face. His face is completely healthy. That's a big, bold claim. No, he's Surat Mubarakish. So his blessed face is completely fine. Oh, he has complete musallat. He's completely in control of the issue. Like Oh, he's basically giving out the situation. He puts out the information out there. He's basically in charge. Like, I have the information. I do have this information here. So he's like, apparently Mujtaba is aware of everything. He's aware of what's happening on social media. Hey, Mujtaba, Goldie. He's saying Mujtaba is aware of everything happening on social media. So guys, say hi to Mujtaba. He's saying he sees everything.
Oh,
he sees everything.
Maybe it was Mujtaba that put in the request to ban me from live streaming on YouTube because he didn't like the cardboard. So there you go.
Oh no. Okay. Okay, somebody needs to follow up a question. Like, okay, if he's so healthy, why is there no video of him? Yeah. Oh, he's actually Goldie. He's in charge of the military operations as well. He's the one who's ordering all the military operations. Oh, he's a commander of all the armed forces, and he's aware of everything that is happening. Oh, and he's also completely aware of the requests of the people. By the way, remember, guys, information, every time these people say people, they're talking about the regime supporters. They're not talking about all Iranian people. So in their vocabulary, we are not people. Okay? When they say people, they're talking about the less than 5% support that they have. So he's saying he's aware of the requests of the people. So he's saying don't be worried at all and don't pay attention to the media of the enemy, meaning, like, for example, Iran Revolution Live or Iran International or Manoto. Don't pay attention to those people. They are just trying to make you worried. Okay, so Goldie, you know what this confirms? This confirms that they really, really care. Like, this is going to have a huge psychological issue. His absence is stressing these people out, and because they're confirming that, because they wouldn't, the fact that he's lying about Mujtaba's health, to me suggests that they really need him to be healthy and alive.
But he's not.
Yeah, he's not. He's not.
That's the crazy part, because like President Trump, JD Vance, Pete Hegseth, like everyone that's close to President Trump have already confirmed that he's disfigured, he's injured. They don't know if he's dead or alive. He's probably like in a brain dead vegetable coma. I mean, who knows, right?
Yeah.
But the IRGC is freaking out.
Is it okay? So I know one crazy conspiracy theory that I don't believe in, but I just want to put out there for people to consider. I'm not saying this is true, but if 1% chance Mujtaba Khamenei is alive and healthy, there might be a small chance that his news of him being dead or unhealthy or injured was fake news that the Islamic Republic put out there, so that when he bring him out alive and healthy, they could be like, see, everybody is lying to you, and we are the only source that you should trust. And also, give a huge emotional boost to the regime supporters who think that, oh no, is he dead? And like, he's alive. Look at him. So there is a chance, small chance, that that could be the truth, because the Islamic Republic has done that before. You know, put out information that is against the Islamic Republic, that is fake, so that when they correct it and it ends up actually being correct, they actually look more credible than other people. That is a small possibility that it could be the case.
You know, you're absolutely right. That could be a small possibility, and we always have to keep that in the back of our minds.
Right.
However, you know, the intelligence that the United States has is second to none, right? So
Right.
when President Trump comes out and says, well, you know, he's disfigured, you know, he is injured, he's in a coma, we don't know if he's dead or alive. The president is acting on very, very good intelligence there, right? So
Yeah.
he wouldn't come out and say something like that unless he was 100% certain about that, because we know how President Trump speaks. So Mujtaba has now been injured since February 28, and it's now April 13, and whatever happened to him, he certainly hasn't recovered, because we're still not seeing him.
And they don't even put an audio message from him out there. Like, even if he's disfigured, why not record his voice at least with a message and put that out there?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, it's interesting times, really, really interesting times. But to me, like, honestly, Armin, like, there's so much going on with like the conflict and the Islamic regime and the negotiations, and you know, the King Reza Pahlavi and like everything else going on, that it's like we kind of like overlook the fact that the current supreme dictator of the Islamic regime still has not been seen. We haven't seen him, we haven't heard him, we haven't seen a video of him, like nothing. This is the strangest situation. Like, this is one of the strangest, most bizarre situations we've ever been in. And because there's so much, you know, going on, like, if you actually just stop to think about it for a moment, you're like, what? And then on top of that, they still haven't even had a funeral for his dead dad, Khamenei Senior, the former supreme dictator, who was the supreme dictator for what, like almost 40 years. They still haven't had a funeral for him because they're afraid.
Yeah. And Goldie, we don't know which. Well, I mean, we kind of know, but it's interesting to think about which camp within the Islamic Republic is in charge of putting words in Mujtaba's mouth. Like, is it willy-nilly and everybody is just attributing words to him? Or is there a specific group that has that authority? And I think it's the Ghalibaf camp and the Mullah camp. So this is how I think about it, Goldie. I think that there's two major camps here right now. And the Ghalibaf camp and the Vahidi camp, and they're turning against each other. And the Vahidi camp is the Boots camp. And Ghalibaf, even though Ghalibaf is not the Mullah, Ghalibaf is the Mullah camp. The reason why Ghalibaf is the Mullah camp is because the Mullahs are terrified that the Boots are going to get rid of the Mullahs. So they see Ghalibaf camp as their only hope to help them reject a complete takeover of the Islamic Republic by the IRGC, which is going to make the Mullahs somewhat irrelevant. Like the Mullahs will still be relevant, but as puppets of the IRGC, because Mullahs were in charge. But now, instead of the Turbans, the Boots are going to be in charge. And I think that the Mullahs are trying to support Ghalibaf as a reaction. And I also, I said, I had the theory that this will happen, and I'm now seeing evidence for it, especially because Alam al-Huda from Mashhad and Nabavian which is these are really religious hardliner, like really hardliner mullahs. Nabavian is from the Paidari camp. Alam al-Huda has his own personal cult, and they are supporting Ghalib. They're saying things that suggest that they're supporting Ghalibaf. So they supported the negotiations in Islamabad. And Nabavian also mentioned that Mushtaba is endorsing Ghalibaf. And given that Ghalibaf himself is not 100% Durka, and then mullahs who are 100% Durka are trying to give him credibility by putting these statements out there, to me it seems that they're getting united around Ghalibaf as a reaction to a complete IRGC takeover.
So here's the interesting thing, Armin, about Ghalibaf, and I just sent you a post in the studio chat. I saw some people, and guys, I see a lot of super chats. I promise you, I will get to all the super chats. Thank you so much for your support and your messages. I appreciate you all. We will get to them. But Armin, I did notice a few people in the comments who were saying, well, like Khamenei is dead, but still posting on his X accounts. Yeah, I mean, Khamenei is still posting as of like yesterday and today. But this is what's really interesting. Oh, Armin is a super nerd, and that's why we appreciate him, because Armin, like, he knows this stuff like the back of his hand, and that's why Armin is invaluable and priceless.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. But going back to Ghalibaf, Armin, this news now came out that apparently Ghalibaf isn't even running his own X account, and it's actually being run by someone in the United States.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Maisan Zaman Abadi. That's the guy. Here he is.
Do you want to go through this thread? Because this is insane.
Yes.
Like, so guys, so for before like this thread came out, all like the Iranian community, we kind of had a sense, because we were looking at Ghalibaf's posts and the way he was posting in English, it did not make sense. Like, it was he was using like too many sort of American terms or phrases. The screenshots that he was using were kind of like in English. Anyways, this thread is going to go through it all, but just watch this, and Armin will guide you through this, because this is fascinating.
Yeah, so Ghalibaf, this is a issue people were bringing up for a while, but as Goldie mentioned, this post by him had so many people were like, okay, who's posting these? So Ghalibaf posted this saying, enjoy the current pump figures with the so-called blockade. Soon you'll be nostalgic for $4 to $5 gas. And he posted a picture of gas stations near the White House, which really suggests that whoever took the screenshot, it's obvious for so many reasons based on the screenshot that this is their Google Map account and they're based in the US. I mean, Google services is not even allowed in Iran. But I don't know what this is, Goldie. Before I go through where's that thread, what is this?
Why don't you ask Grok?
Okay, that's a good. I'm going to ask Gemini. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm comfortable with Gemini. But so.
Oh, I think it's supposed to be FAFO or something. It looks like some sort of math equation with like FAFO maybe.
Explain this really quickly. I'm going to do the fast version. Oh, this expression looks like a formal way of describing a positive feedback loop or an inflationary process within a system, like using custom notation, specifically the BSOH subscript. The condition delta. Okay. It looks like a math formula. Summary.
It is a math formula.
If the initial conditions are positive, then the process is self-reinforcing. In plain English, success breeds more success. Each iteration of the function doesn't just maintain the status quo, it accelerates it. Okay, whatever. Ghalibaf is trying to be nerdy. But it's not Ghalibaf, it's this guy. So here, look at this. It says the main strategist and the main... Oh, yeah. The main strategist and content architect behind the account associated with Ghalibaf resides in the United States, and his identity has now been exposed. Maysam Zamanabadi. Yeah, feedback loop, exactly. And this is what he looks like, apparently. So let's go. He's saying, since Ghalibaf himself has no real command of the English language or the complexities of international politics and media. Oh no. Ooh, okay. One of his longtime associate, Maysam Zaman Abadi, has taken charge of managing his account and contents. Guys, people who are more familiar with American laws, is this not treason? Like in America, like this guy in America doing this, is this not a crime? So isn't supporting the enemy of the United States like this a crime? Like, I don't know if it is or not. So let us know if you're aware of American laws. And then it continues saying he is responsible for shaping the account's media presence, crafting English language posts, memes, and highly polished messaging. Goldie, remember that meme of that kid going like doing the F?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that was not like Ghalibaf at all. I mean, Ghalibaf doesn't understand memes, so I believe that's right. So memes and highly polished messaging as part of a broader coordinated media strategy aimed at influencing political and public discourse in the United States during wartime. Recently, he repeatedly appeared from California on state-run television in Iran as a media warfare expert, analyzing how to influence political currents in the United States against Trump administration. So this is in Persian, but I'm going to play it a little bit so you can see what he sounds like.
در واقع جریان رسانه‌ای توی ایالات متحده رو
So that's him.
You know what, Armin? It's absolutely crazy that he is in the United States and he's interviewing with Islamic Regime State TV, and he's speaking on behalf of like in support of the Islamic regime and against the United States. Like that, literally, like that's like that, guys. That's like the equivalent of, let's say, World War II. If there was a Nazi supporter, if there was a Nazi in the United States and the Nazi was doing like media interviews in Germany, in Nazi Germany, supporting Hitler and attacking the United States. This is the modern day equivalent, where he's in the United States, but he is supporting the Islamic regime.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess this is the level of free speech we have in the United States. Yeah. And then it continues saying, Mason is now a graduate in media psychology from Fielding Graduate University in California and primarily resides in Glendora, Los Angeles, and frequently travels to Iran. He's I mean, is he a citizen? If he's not a citizen, you need to kick this man out. Saying he is considered one of the figures in managing and training media cyber teams. And then it continues saying Mason began his career. So it goes to through his history. Do you want me to read his history?
No, but you can go to the end maybe. So then it goes into like his history.
Yeah, it keeps going.
Okay, I think that's
during his tenure as police commander, Ghalibaf was also among the key figures behind the violent suppression of student protests in the 2000s, overseeing the deployment of police into university campuses and dormitories and the use of. Yeah, Goldie, there's an audio recording of Ghalibaf. I think he said in the audio, Lulashun Kardim, like he was bragging about suppressing the students. Like he was bragging about being really harsh on them.
I think Hafiz Tariqi posted a bunch of Ghalibaf videos.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay. You know, some people were attacking Hafiz Tariqi because they were like, oh, how come you've never posted anything about Ghalibaf? I guess they just never had because they were focusing on all these other people. بعد ببین الان اکانت لج کرده، الان 2 روزه که فقط داره هر چی که از قالیباف هست داره پست.
They're like, okay, let's do Ghalibaf.
ولی ببین خیلی بد بود که حملش کردن. چون اصلا like it could have just been like they just never realized, right? Like they're doing such good work, but then یه دفعه که قالیباف اومد بالا، بعضیا میخواستن حمله بکنن، بگن او تو چرا هیچ وقت راجع به قالیباف پست نکردی، تو مزدوری و این چیزا. Like it was terrible.
Oh my god. And so many people so many of these people who keep saying Mazdur, Mazdur, they haven't done anything remotely useful themselves. They just sit back and accuse people.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but now Hafiz Tariqi is on like a whole like Ghalibaf thing. So,
Right. And Goldie, so many ships are coming to the US for oil. It's like, look at this. It's like crazy. And it's like everybody is lining up from all over the world to come buy US oil. Wait, I had another map for this. It's crazy. They're just like circling. Everybody is coming. And this is probably why Brent went back under 100, because it's Venezuelan and American oil. Oh, here, I have another picture here. Look at this one. Look at this. It's like everybody is just going like to the US for oil and Venezuela. And this is interesting because Brent is under 100 again. So it dropped when the ceasefire was announced to 92. And then look at this. When the ceasefire negotiations failed, it went all the way back to 102, and now is going back to 97. This is crazy that like this, Goldie, this is the first like military operations at this scale around the Persian Gulf that hasn't gotten us like crazy high oil prices. We were supposed to hit 200 by now, and we haven't.
Well, remember, Armin, remember when President Trump went after Maduro and Venezuela, right? This was after January 8th, but it was obviously before February 28th. And President Trump went after Venezuela and Maduro, and everyone was like, wait, why is he doing that? And then I was like, guys, like this is actually related to the Islamic regime, because Venezuela and the Islamic regime are very close. So by President Trump basically freeing Venezuela and getting rid of Maduro, he's laying the groundwork to go after the Islamic regime. And look at this, like President Trump was thinking about this ahead of time, right? Before anyone knew what was going on. Because now one of the reasons that oil is so low is because Venezuela is free and Maduro is not there, right? So freeing Venezuela is also helping with everything that's going on as well. And people are just too short-sighted to see that.
Yeah, and Goldie, we were told that this is the most devastating shock to the economy, and meanwhile, S&P 500 is up 27% year over year, and you can see we have already somewhat recovered a lot of the losses already from these military operations starting. Like we're up year over year, we're up 6 months, we're up 1 month. We're up 5 days.
I mean,
we're even up 1 day.
Go to 1 year. Go to 1 year. Let's see what 1 year looks like. Yeah. Okay, what about 5 years? Go to 5 years.
5 years.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Like compare President Trump to Biden. Like this is crazy, right? And then especially when you're looking at the stocks, right, in the market there. Anyone who's looking at this from like a 1 day or a 5 day or like a 1 month perspective, that's not the proper analysis. When it's, when you're comparing these things, you have to look at the long-term picture here, right? So when you look at like 1 year or 5 years, obviously President Trump is doing something right. I mean, sure, there was a dip. There's market fluctuations all the time. That's literally what happens in the market. But the market is doing fine.
Yeah. It's not even it wasn't even a big correction. It wasn't even that significant. Yeah.
It was like a blip.
Yeah. I mean, I expected for this to take a while to recover. I mean, we might go back down again, but the fact that we haven't like seen a major hit is it's like a miracle. Like historically, these events like this would hit the economy really hard, and we haven't seen that at all. And the markets are forward looking, so unlike the labor market, which is backward looking. And here, actually, President Trump has some recent posts from President Trump about this, which is relevant to what we're saying. Iran's navy is laying at the bottom of the sea, completely I always have a problem with this. Obliterated. There you go. 158 ships. What we have not hit are this guys. There's small number of what they call fast attack ships. Okay, so these are really small, fast boats, basically, that they could cause trouble for commercial ships. These are no problem for military ships, but they can cause problems for commercial ships. Okay, so fast attack ships, because we did not consider them much of a threat. Warning: if any of these ships come anywhere close to our blockade, they will be immediately eliminated using the same system of kill what we use against the drug dealers on boats at sea. It is quick and brutal. PS 98.2% of drugs coming into the US by ocean or sea have stopped. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. And if you want to put some visuals on this, this is, I think, what it looks like. Guys, like, let me know. Like, this is what some people are suggesting, that this is where US is putting. So this is the Islamic Republic blockade, I guess, where they're collecting tolls, and this is where US is putting theirs. Ours, President Trump should post this and say ours is bigger. Okay, so this is interesting. So yeah, this is what a time to be alive. And then we have another post by President Trump saying 34 ships went through the Strait of Hormuz yesterday. Went through the Strait of Hormuz yesterday, which is by far the highest number since this foolish closure began. President Donald J. Trump. So 34 is good. That's an increase in number compared to what we had before. So things are moving in the right direction. I also saw Israel Hayom just a few hours ago reporting that U.S. rejects the Islamic Republic's request for another meeting in Pakistan. This is big. So, yeah. So I think the JD Vance and others are comfortable with just letting them. I think they're desperate. I think the Islamic Republic is begging.
Well, that's what President Trump has been saying. He's saying they're begging us behind the scenes. ببین این همون میشه چی چیکار گندگوزی, is that what it is? Like they talk.
Yeah, گندگوزی.
they talk big. They talk big in public, but behind the scenes they're desperate and they're begging. And President Trump is leaving them out, leaving him out to dry right now. And it's a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah. President Trump, Goldie, is very confident that they're going to come back to the table and offer everything that President Trump wants. It's hard for me to see how that's going to be possible, given that the pro-regime people will not have any of that. But what do you think?
Well, I don't know if President Trump is confident they're going to come back. President Trump is confident that they want to come back.
Oh, no, he said specifically they're going to come back to the table and they're going to give us everything.
Oh, I must have missed that. Like, honestly, like I haven't, I have not watched the news in the last 24 hours because I was dealing with like my YouTube situation, right? So I was just mostly, did he say that in an interview? A video? Do you have the video? When was that?
I have to find it. It wasn't this one, but I think he says something similar here. Let me see if he says something similar here.
President, are another round of talks planned with Iran? And if so, will you send Vice President JD Vance there?
Well, he's done a good job, but Steve and Jared, they've all done a very good job. And I can tell you that we've been called by the other side. They'd like to make a deal very badly, very badly.
President, are another round of talks?
This is not the video that I had in mind. There was one somewhere. He said that they're gonna come. I if I find it, I will let you know. Okay, to be under very tough, because that's more like what you just said. That over there, he said what I'll keep looking for it. I'll send it to you if I find it later.
Okay.
Yeah. I just saw a video from the Islamic Republic defense ministry spokesperson saying that they control the Strait of Hormuz.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not going to play all of this because it's 3 minutes. I don't want to translate all of this, but he basically says the Strait of Hormuz will forever
Armin,
remain.
can you, if you're going to share videos, can you at least like not share Jackson Hinkle?
Oh my God, I didn't notice this.
Yep.
So sorry. Ugh.
You're following
I'm
him.
so
Oh my
sorry.
gosh. I've blocked Jackson Hinkle.
Oh, Goldie, my job is to
I know.
to garbage, so I do follow garbage people. All
I
the time.
know. That's why I don't judge you. But
Yeah.
oh my God.
I'm sorry, I didn't notice that it was Jackson Hinkle. Sorry, guys. I apologize for that. Yeah.
So yeah, like for accounts like that, just like maximize the video so that before you maximize the video before you share it on the screen so that we can't see the account behind it.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's
I
okay.
should have paid attention. I should pay attention. Yeah.
Guys,
okay, look at this.
The most dur. YouTube.
must I can't. Oh my God, yes. He's anti-Israeli as well, so I hate him. This one, Goldie, look at this. According to Iran International, the central bank in Iran has warned President Pezeshkian that unless the current, so Hemmeti was telling President Pezeshkian that unless the current conditions change because of the current war, inflation will reach 180% in Iran, and 2 million people will become unemployed very soon. And this is not taking into account if Americans are successful at putting a blockade at the Strait of Hormuz. This is without that. This is without that. Because if the Americans do that, then guys, the Islamic Republic will run out of cash real fast. And the only challenge.
Sorry, just really quick. A lot of people are talking about King Reza Pahlavi. Guys, we will get to King Reza Pahlavi and his epic speech. I have it lined up, ready to go. We're just sharing like some of the quick breaking news right now. And then, yes, 100%, we are going to get to His Royal Highness and his speech in Sweden today. So we are going to get to that. We're going to get to the footage. We're going to get to Iranians in Sweden as well. But we're just going through some of the breaking news. And then, of course, we're going to go to King Reza Pahlavi, 100%. All right, Armin, please continue.
Yeah, so I'll just do it quickly so we could get to that. But just wanted to mention that, guys, if President Trump is successful at putting a blockade at the Strait of Hormuz, then that is the most effective way of completely bankrupting the war machine of the Islamic Republic very fast. And the only challenge to that are the Chinese. Okay, because the Chinese Defense Ministry has came out and said that Chinese ships. Oh, let me actually zoom out a little bit so you can see the video as well. Okay, the Chinese ships continue to move in and out of the waters of the Strait of Hormuz. We have a trade. They say we have a trade and energy agreement with Iran, which we will respect and abide by. We expect others not to interfere in our affairs. Iran controls the Strait of Hormuz and has opened it to us. So this is getting, I don't know what's going to happen, but this is like a major escalation. If we want to see any conflict between Americans and Chinese ships around the Strait of Hormuz, not that the Chinese have the ability to, overpower Americans, especially this far away from home. They can't. However, neither Americans or the Chinese are at all interested in seeing a military conflict between each other. So I don't know who's going to call out whose bluff here, but the Chinese are saying that we're going to go through the Strait of Hormuz and nobody's going to stop us. So this is the major challenge here about how to deal with this. So there's that, and I guess I'll just stop here so that we could go to Princess Pahlavi's speech for now.
Well, no, I mean, if you have a few more updates, we have a few more minutes left before we go to His Royal Highness's speech. But if there's anything else, yeah, go for it.
So I have, I mean, it's not as important. I had this.
Okay, go for this and I'll be right back.
Okay. So this is, I just wanted you guys to see the current continuation of the propaganda of the Islamic Republic inside Iran. So let me actually translate this to English. The video published in state media. Guys, this is in state media. Like in state media. Like this woman is not wearing a hijab. This woman is not wearing a hijab, and the Islamic Republic is putting it on their own official state media, okay? The video published in state media shows a woman supporting the Islamic Republic, expressing support for members of the IRGC and Basijis and other representative forces, saying, my Basiji boy, no, this is not incorrect translation. He's saying, Pesar Basiji type mane. اما من type اونا نیستم. So she's saying that when it comes to boys, she has a type, and her type is the Durka people. Her type is basically the Basiji people, but she says, however, I am not their type. So they are my type, but I am not their type. And this is something that the regime is putting, like talking about Basiji boys being my type is something that the state media is putting on TV. They're putting that on TV, which is crazy. Like the regime is now obsessed with hijabless women. And like I was in the discussion group today, I was telling people there that by this rate, if we keep going this way, the Islamic Republic is going to bring topless women out in the streets of Tehran to support the regime. And we might be able to free the nipple in Iran before we free the nipple in Western countries, in the United States. Like if we keep going, if this is the propaganda tactic, if they get desperate enough, I think at some point we're going to say the regime bringing in topless women with the Islamic Republic flag going Haydar. So, right. So let me actually play this. Haydar, topless woman. That's what we needed. Okay, hold on. He's saying like when you come out like this with this clothing and you see the Basijis here, aren't you afraid of them? Oh, actually, there's a translation on screen. I could just read the translation. He's saying, aren't you afraid when you see the Basijis? He's saying, I have always been friends with them from the women life freedom protest till now. And I never had any enmity with them because I felt safe with them. And did you have a Basiji? What? Did you have a Basiji boyfriend before marriage? Wait, Basijis are not supposed to have girlfriends. What the hell? What the hell kind of question is that? Basijis are not supposed to have girlfriends. They're supposed to wait until marriage. This is state media? It's saying I always tell my husband my type is a Basiji boy, but I never was their type. I was never the type for a Basiji boy. She's telling that to her husband? So she's already married? And she's like, you're not my type. My type was a Basiji boy. What the heck? This keeps getting weirder and weirder. She's married, and she's saying to her husband that my type is the Basiji boys that I can never have. The forbidden fruit, the forbidden fruit of a Basiji boy. All the things I would do, but unfortunately, I am married to you. Oh my what the hell? So now the guy is asking again, did you have a Basiji boyfriend? I wish Goldie was here. This is so weird. I wish Goldie was here for this. This is so bizarre. Oh, she's saying yes. She says like, yes, I did have a Basiji boyfriend. What? Like, does your husband know? She's saying yes, yes, you know. What the hell is, guys, Iranians in the chat, have you ever seen the Islamic Republic behave like this? They're like, oh my god, oh, I had the Basiji boyfriend, my husband. Like, what is this? Like, why did you break up? Guys, this is like dating content on Islamic Republic State TV. Like, why did you break up with your Basiji boyfriend? Like, why did you? So you're saying like, I told you my type is Basiji boy, but never was the type. But I was never the Basiji boy's type. Like, I like Basiji boy, but they don't like me. The guy's asking again, why did you break up? Oh, he got married. Like, why did you break up with your best? Oh my gosh, she was the side chick. She's like, you're good for you know what, but you're not marriage material. I want a proper Muslim girl for marriage. You're just you know, you're just like a toy. Oh my god, it's saying, he said I want to get married. I said I'm not ready for marriage. And then he got married. Say, did he marry a religious woman? Yes. Yep. So yeah, you're not my Goldie. You missed out big. This was a crazy video.
I was listening. I've seen this video.
Oh, you have?
Crazy.
Okay.
It's wild. Yeah. It's like jihadi dating. It's like a jihadi dating show.
Oh my gosh, it's like, but this is by state media. They're like, oh my god, did you tell your husband that you dated the Basiji? Like, yes, they're my type, but I'm not their type. Like, what the hell is this? Like, the regime is so desperate to appeal to a wider audience. They're going full on like hijabless, talking about dating before marriage. And I was telling the audience that if we keep going this way, soon we're going to have topless women waving the Islamic Republic flag in the streets of Tehran, saying "Haydar, Haydar." That, like, by this rate, that's what we're going to have.
Pretty much.
And yeah,
like that's pretty much what's happening.
Yeah, soon.
Soon you're gonna have these women in bikinis going around saying, "Oh, we've always been free. We've always been free." So
yeah, free the nip in Iran before. Like I was telling that chat, we're going to free the nip in Iran before we do it in the US.
My gosh, terrible. But yeah, guys, these are all actresses. These are all like fake people. Yeah. Okay. So let's go to one of the biggest pieces of news from today. Of course, His Royal Highness King Reza Pahlavi, he spoke today. He spoke today to a delegation of Swedish parliamentarians in the parliament, in the Swedish parliament. So before we go to that, let's just show you Iranians. So this was today. Look at all of these Iranians who gathered today. You know, today's what? It's Monday. So it's a weekday, middle of the day. But look at how many Iranians gathered just to bear witness to King Reza Pahlavi's speech. So he was invited by parliamentarians, like by Swedish parliamentarians, to go and speak. So I'll just play a little bit because like this is going to go through his whole speech, but I have his whole speech for you here. Armin, look at this lion and sun and the crown. Isn't that amazing?
Wow, that's a Pahlavi crown.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
I really like this artwork. I really, really want this. I don't know who made this, but I want it. Massive crowd. So that's one video. Oops. And then here's another one.
Javid! 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 Javid!
And of course, you can see the flag of Sweden. You can see the lion and sun flag. You can Sweden there. You can see America and of course Israel, right? Because whenever there is a pro Iran, pro freedom, patriotic rally, Iranians, they'll always have four flags, at least four flags. They'll have the flag of Iran, obviously, lion and sun, with or without the crown. And it's a mix, right? Some take with, some take without. There's also the flag of the United States because we support the United States. There's a flag of Israel because, of course, we're allies and supporters of Israel. And then we also have the flag of whichever host country we're in as well. So here you see the flag of Iran, the lion and sun flag, flag of Israel, America, and of course Sweden.
Javid!
And they're chanting Javid Shah, which means long live the king.
Javid! Javid!
There you go. So there's that video. And then this is just a photo of him inside. Now we're going to get to the actual speech as well. And then here he was meeting with some people in the Swedish parliament. I think I've already shown that video. Okay, this is the actual, well, this is one version. And then there's a clip. Okay, so let's go to his actual speech now, because he did post his full speech at the Swedish parliament. So it's about 24 minutes long. Armin, do you want me to send you the link so you can play it if you want to pause, or should we just play through without pausing?
Yeah, I think let's just play through it without pausing.
Out of respect, yeah.
Yes.
Right, before we start, let me just add a quick note here.
Goldie, just very be careful. Are you sure that Prince Reza Pahlavi, when he came up, was he holding any guns or anything? Like, just want to be careful.
Oh my gosh, I don't know.
Okay.
Should we
just? Do you want to double check before we play it?
Oh my gosh, I don't know, man. I don't want to be banned again by YouTube. Oh, geez, you're right. It's so dangerous now. April. Oh wait, sorry. Let me just change this really quick. I just changed the banner so that people know what we're looking to.
Nice.
Okay. Oh my gosh. All right. Now we can start.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Esteemed members of the Riksdag, ladies and gentlemen. I stand before you today not to speak of policy abstractions or diplomatic courtesies. I stand before you to speak of a people, a great, ancient, and proud people who at mortal cost are fighting for freedom. What is unfolding across Iran is not simply a political dispute. It is not a contest between factions within a system. It is something far more elemental, a national reckoning between a civilization and a ruthless regime that has occupied it for nearly half a century. Since inception, the Islamic Republic has not behaved as a state among states. It has operated as a revolutionary enterprise, exporting instability through proxies, subverting its neighbors' sovereignty, fueling conflict from Baghdad to Beirut, from Sana'a to Damascus, and advancing its nuclear ambitions beneath a fog of denial. It has not sought a place in the community of nations. It has sought to overturn that community. Yet something irreversible has now changed inside Iran. The battle in my country today is not between reformers and hardliners. It is between occupation and liberation. It is a battle for the soul of a nation. What we are witnessing is not a fleeting protest movement. It is a generational revolt, the most profound uprising in Iran since 1979, uniting workers and students, women and minorities, professionals and poets, and yes, even elements within the state apparatus itself. Together, they have rendered their verdict. This regime has forfeited all legitimacy. Indeed, it is a revolt against the 1979 revolution itself. When legitimacy dies, power begins to crumble. The regime understands this, which is precisely why it silences voices, shuts down the internet, and turns weapons against unarmed citizens. And the cost has been heartbreaking, a cost that demands this noble chamber bear witness. Men and women are being slaughtered in the streets and in their homes. More than 40,000 Iranians were massacred in a single week. The regime's operatives hunted wounded protesters in hospitals and executed them in cold blood. Bodies were collected by dump trucks. Families were forced to search through rows of unmarked body bags. 40,000. The number is almost too large to comprehend, too abstract. It allows too many in the outside world to look at it like mere statistic. So let me tell you some of their names and stories. Consider Hamid Mahdavi, the 30-year-old firefighter from Mashhad, who spent his final moments carrying wounded protesters to safety, only to be shot dead by regime forces for the crime of saving lives.
I'm really sorry. I just want to pause one moment, because what His Royal Highness is saying here about humanizing and not seeing, these numbers as a statistic is so important. So guys, this is Hamid Mahdavi. This is the 30-year-old firefighter that His Royal Highness is speaking about. And, he had this fantastic Instagram page. He had an amazing sense of humor. And I want to share this one video with you that he made. This is one of his final videos. And it was like a joke, right? Like he was joking around. And the caption is basically, when your shift supervisor, no, that's not the one. Sorry. Let me find the one. It's, this one. Okay. So the caption is, when your shift supervisor tells you that not everything has to be done like in a partner, right? Like, so basically it's like when your shift supervisor says you don't need to, do everything with two people. So he's making a joke out of that. Okay. So this is him. This is him. And this is his shift supervisor. So I just want to share this video because it's really important to humanize all these people, right? Because their names, sound a little bit foreign and you're like, okay, but who are these people? So this is really important to humanize. This is a firefighter that King Reza Pahlavi is speaking about.
Oh, he's so cute.
So
That's fine.
yeah, so this is the firefighter that His Royal Highness is speaking about, Hamid Mahdavi. He spent the final moments of his life um, rescuing Iranian protesters who were injured by the Islamic regime. And then he himself was shot by the Islamic regime. And these are his final moments. These are his final moments right here. This is him. This is him. This is Hamid Mahdavi. So he's in the white hoodie, and you can see like there's someone. He's carrying people, right? He's carrying people who have been injured by the Islamic regime to safety. And as he was doing this, the Islamic regime eventually they shot him. So he lost his life that night. This is him. This is his story.
Have you seen this viral video from Iran? This is the story behind it. Hamid Mahdavi was a firefighter in Iran. He was shot by regime forces as he carried injured protesters to safety. He stood by his people till the very end. On social media, Hamid would document his life. He danced, he laughed, but above all else, he was a dedicated firefighter who devoted his life to saving others. When the streets erupted in protest, Hamid's duty never wavered. As gunfire rained indiscriminately on the brave protesters, he carried the wounded on his back, pulling them away from the forces of oppression. Hamid is just one of thousands who have sacrificed their lives for dignity and freedom. Don't let his memory fade. Carry his story forward, just like he carried his people to safety. Have you seen this?
So
It takes a very special kind of person to see that bullets are being shot at your direction and you see other people injured, and instead of running away, you take the time to pick them up to try to save them. Like, you have to be a very, very special kind of person for you to decide that that's what you're going to do at that moment.
yeah. So I'm going to go back a little bit, but I just wanted to give, I know I said I wouldn't interrupt His Royal Highness's speech, but I just wanted to give that one example because it is really important to humanize our victims. Yeah.
Goldie, can you put the link to that last video that you just shared in the chat for everybody?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'll do that. I'll put it in all the chats. Yeah.
Thank you.
Their names and stories. How's too large to comprehend, too abstract. Bodies were collected by dump trucks. Families were forced to search through rows of unmarked body bags. 40,000. The number is almost too large to comprehend, too abstract. It allows too many in the outside world to look at it like mere statistic. So let me tell you some of their names and stories. Consider Hamid Mahdavi, the 30-year-old firefighter from Mashhad, who spent his final moments carrying wounded protesters to safety, only to be shot dead by regime forces for the crime of saving lives. Think of Sina Kazemi, 22-year-old. He was in his final term of engineering school. He had a lifelong passion for music and technology. He chose to fight for his and his nation's dignity. He was looking forward. Security forces shot him in the back of the head. In Bushehr, nurse Mansoure Haydari and her husband, teacher Behruz Mansouri, were shot dead side by side while protesting peacefully. They left behind 2 young children, ages 8 and 10, a family destroyed for daring to dream of freedom. 28-year-old biotechnology student Negin Qadimi went out to protest despite her father's pleas. Mortally wounded, she died in his arms whispering, "Dad, I'm burning." A bright future stolen in a single night of terror. But the terror is not over. It continues every day. Access to the internet is still blocked. And while the people of Iran are disconnected from the world, the regime continues to kill. Today, the media speaks of a ceasefire. What ceasefire? There has been no ceasefire in the Islamic Republic's war on the people of Iran. At checkpoints that mark most every street, regime thugs and their imported terrorists harass, beat, and murder innocent Iranians. For those who cry of war and its costs, this is the war you should be speaking of. The Islamic Republic's war on my compatriots. That war that rages on every day, far from the headlines of your Western newspapers and the minds of your television producers. But they are not far from my mind. My brave compatriots continue to resist. Many stand with broken bodies, but unbreakable will. They would rather die standing than live kneeling, and so would I. Churchill understood such a people when he said that nations do not die when their soldiers fall. They die only when their spirits surrenders. I am here to tell you, Iran's spirit has not surrendered, and it never will. Despite its brutality, the Islamic Republic is closer to collapse today than at any point since 1979. And one fact is now beyond dispute. The Iranian people will never accept a repackaged version of this regime. Too much blood has been spilled. Too many graves have been dug. The demand is not for a kinder jailer. The demand is for freedom. There is a military dimension to these events that this chamber is watching closely, and I will not pretend otherwise. But I say to you, however the military operation currently on pause turns, whether it accelerates the Islamic Republic's fall or merely deepens the fractures within it, the outcome of Iran's revolution will not be determined by any force from the outside. It will be determined by the Iranian people themselves. The Lion and Sun Revolution, the uprising that the people of Iran ignited in January with their own blood and their own courage, cannot be extinguished by any regime calculation, any diplomatic maneuver, or any military result. The people started it, and the people will finish it. If the military operation pushes the Islamic Republic into the historical abyss where it belongs, we will be there, ready, organized, and determined to build what comes after. And if the regime survives the immediate storm, we will continue the revolution until it is complete. We began this journey. We will see it to its end. History has given us no other choice. When I look at Europe, I see ambivalence and a continued inability to see the reality of the streets of Iran. I am disappointed, yet not surprised, at the rush to engage this criminal regime. The regime has murdered tens of thousands of its own citizens. The regime is sponsoring terrorism on the streets of Europe, including in Sweden. The regime is threatening and blackmailing European governments with hostages and violence. The Europe I believe in is supposed to stand for human rights, democracy, and equality. It has been a proud record in previous struggles, fighting against apartheid in South Africa, supporting the solidarity movement in Poland, and now in backing Ukrainians in the fight for sovereignty. So why should Iran be different? Are Iranian human rights less important? Are their lives worth less? Perhaps to some, but not to us. Sadly, this is not new. For decades, Europe has appeased and emboldened this terrorist regime. It has been a policy that has helped this regime survive and kill its own people. I hope the Swedish government will press the European Union and other countries to stand with the people of Iran and their struggle for liberty. I am pleased and heartened that so many members of the Riksdag across multiple parties are here today to hear a message from the people of Iran. On behalf of my compatriots who are far too often silenced, I thank you. Esteemed members of the Riksdag, this is no longer distant geopolitics. It is a security emergency on Swedish soil. The Swedish Security Service, SAPO, together with the Swedish Police Authority, has confirmed that the Islamic Republic of Iran operates within Sweden through criminal proxy networks. These are not surveillance operations alone. They carry out acts of intimidation and violence, targeting Jewish communities, Iranian dissidents, and Swedish citizens at large. On the 3rd of March this year, shortly after the outbreak of the current conflict in the Middle East, SAPO issued an urgent public warning of a heightened threat level. This is not speculation. This is a statement from your own security services. And here is what makes this particularly corrosive. The criminal networks that Tehran employs do not cease to exist between assignments. They are embedded in Swedish society. They are the same networks already identified as a major internal threat to public safety. Sweden has responded with resolve. You have restricted visas for Iranian embassy staff. You prosecuted Hamid Nouri for crimes against humanity under universal jurisdiction, setting a historic precedent. But it did not last. Sweden returned Nouri to Tehran, where he was given a hero's welcome by his fellow murderers. While he was allowed to return to boast of his crimes on state television, Dr. Ahmad Reza Jalili was forced to continue to suffer in the regime's torture chambers. It was 10 years ago that he was taken, and he is still captive. Decisions like this embolden the regime to take more hostages, to commit more crimes, and to further defy the world. A French senator told me a few months ago, our governments have become hostages to our hostages. But governments still have a choice whether to give in to blackmail or not. Václav Havel once said, that the only genuine security in the world is a security rooted in truth. The truth is, as long as this regime remains in power, Sweden and the free world will not be safe. Why did Sweden join NATO? Because of Putin's wars of aggression against Ukraine. That decision was correct, and it was necessary. Let us not forget that the Islamic Republic is not a bystander to Russia's war. Tehran has supplied drones and missile technology to Moscow. Iranian manufactured weapons have struck Ukrainian cities. Regime technical cooperation has sustained Putin's capacity to wage war against a democratic neighbor. As President Zelensky and I have discussed and stated together, the Russian threat to Europe and the Islamic Republic's threat to Europe are not two separate problems. They are two manifestations of a single challenge. Sweden now stands inside NATO's collective defense. But collective defense is not only military, it is political, economic, and moral. It requires that democratic nations recognize threats in their totality and also recognize the Islamic Republic's support for Russian aggression as the direct security concern that it is. Let me now speak not of present dangers, but of future possibilities. The relationship between Sweden and Iran has deep roots. In the early decades of the 20th century, Swedish experts and businesses built strong ties with Iran. During the celebration of the 2,500 years of Iran's civilization at Persepolis, Sweden was represented by then Crown Prince Carl Gustaf. His Majesty and I were sitting right next to each other and spoke of the future of our nations and people. That future, with a democratic Iran, would change the security calculus of the entire region and of Europe. It would immediately dismantle the proxy networks operating on Swedish soil. It would end the hostage diplomacy that has poisoned relations with Western nations for decades. It would cooperate on intelligence and the rule of law. It would cease its support for Russia's war machine. It would secure Europe's energy needs for decades to come. It would emerge as a natural partner, a nation of 90 million people with extraordinary human capital, a rich civilization, and a desire to rebuild after decades of misrule. Sweden has every reason to be part of that future. Your excellence in information technology and digital infrastructure, your defense industry, Saab's world-class capacities in aerospace and defense, your engineering heritage through Volvo and Scania, your commitment to culture, your tradition of precision manufacturing and industrial innovation. These are all precisely what a rebuilding Iran will need. This is not charity. This is partnership between equals, between nations with complementary strengths and shared values. At this historic moment, as Iranians call upon me to help provide leadership towards a democratic transition, I reaffirm the commitment I have made through my life to serve as a unifying national figure, not a partisan one, not a claimant to power, but a facilitator of stability, of national unity, and of a peaceful transfer to democratic governance. I am not alone in believing this is possible. Together with economists, legal experts, security professionals, and civil society leaders from across the Iranian political spectrum, we have developed detailed transition frameworks, the Iran Prosperity Project, to ensure institutional continuity, prevent instability, and allow rapid national recovery after the regime's end. There is a plan, there is a path, there is a responsible alternative. Even within the state apparatus, the fractures are deepening. Reports indicate that members of the armed forces and security institutions are increasingly refusing orders to participate in violence against civilians. Many have quietly signaled where their true loyalty lies, with the nation, not with those who repress it. When the path emerges, I am confident they will act. No government can survive once it loses the willingness of its own institutions to enforce repression. We are approaching that moment. Let me conclude, esteemed members of the Riksdag, with what I believe is the simplest and most important truth of this address. The Iranian people are not asking you to fight their revolution. They are already risking their lives doing that themselves, with a courage that should humble all of us. They are asking something far more modest. Do not legitimize those who oppress them. Do not strengthen those who terrorize them. Protect those who have sought refuge among you, and prepare for the day when Iran stands free. There are moments in history when neutrality is not a position, it is a decision. When caution is not prudence, it is complicity. When history quietly presents a question and waits with terrible patience for an answer. Churchill faced such a moment in 1940. Václav Havel faced it in 1989. Zelensky faces it today. And in their own way, with no aircraft, no armies, no diplomatic immunity, the people of Iran face it in every street, every prison cell, and every unmarked grave. The Iranian people have already answered. They have answered in the streets and in their prisons. They have answered with their lives. They have chosen freedom. History now asks the democratic world a simple question, and Europe in particular. Will you stand with a free people, or will you accommodate those who oppress them? Future generations will not read your statements. They will assess your actions. They will not ask what you said. They will ask what you did and what you refused to do when it mattered. And one day soon, and I say this not as sentiment, but as strategic conviction, when Iran is free, when its people stand again among the free nations of the world, when its children inherit a country without fear, we will all know that this was the moment when history turned. The moment when a great people refused to kneel. The moment when free nations chose not to look away. Let it be written that when that day came, Sweden was ready. When the Iranian people stood for freedom, Sweden stood with them. Thank you.
Absolutely phenomenal.
That was powerful.
He's such a good speaker, such a good speaker. Like he just has a presence. Like he walks in, you can just tell he's, the Shah. Like you can just tell.
Yeah.
And that's why we all have put our faith in him, right? Because he's the only one that we trust to transition us from a brutal Islamic dictatorship to a functioning secular democratic society.
It's also good. It's really encouraging for us to you and I and the others to see whether or not we've been taking the right positions or not. And many things that he says shows that so far we've been doing good, right? Like it's always like that, because we always, like Goldie and I and others, we always try to make sure that we're aligned with the direction that Prince Reza Pahlavi is giving. So every time we hear one of these speeches, what we're listening to is to see if the positions we've been taking or the things that we have been suggesting, have we been off track compared to what Prince Reza Pahlavi is saying? And that's how we use his speeches to make sure that we're all on the same page.
100%, absolutely. And the other thing as well is that we're not just aligning with His Royal Highness. We're aligning with the people of Iran, because His Royal Highness is a voice. Iranian is the voice, the main voice of the people of Iran, right?
Exactly.
And so he's not just like coming up with random policies or things. Like he is representing the Iranian people. That's why he has so much legitimacy, because we all trust him, because he's basically he's there, right? Like he's the right person. And so you're absolutely right. When you and I and like Iran Revolution Live, or the things that we say, when they align, well, not when, but whenever, they basically align with what His Royal Highness is saying. But that's because we're all aligning with the Iranian people, with the vast majority of Iranian people. No, you're absolutely correct. And his speeches are great, because his messages always act as sort of like like the North Star. They kind of guide us back onto the right path and show us the way.
Exactly. Yeah, he's basically the amplification and the reflection of what the Iranian people want to put out there to the world and to themselves. He doesn't just amplify the voices of the Iranian people to the whole world. He amplifies it back to the Iranian people as well, so that the Iranian people understand what the position of the rest of Iran is as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. I found a different angle of my speech from a few days ago, and this is like the full one. So, because there was a part in the beginning where I speak in Persian, but I don't know if you want me to share that or not.
Yeah, for sure. So I was gonna go, but I want to see this. So I'm gonna stay for that before I go.
Well, if you gotta go, that's fine.
No, this is a must see. Like I was gonna go, but this is like, now that I know what you're gonna share, I want to see that.
Okay, I won't be. It won't be too long.
No, this is a must see. I'm not gonna miss this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
This was this is the full. Someone tagged me in like a full version of my speech, so I was pretty happy about that. So here's like
Nice.
the full version. Okay.
سپاس از لطف شما. درود به همه شما. باعث افتخارمه که امروز کنار شما هستم که یه صدای برای مردم ایران باشیم. با اجازه شما من به زبون انگلیسی صحبت میکنم که صدای مردم ایران به گوش دنیا برسه. درود به شرفتون. سپاس از لطفتون. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Goldie Gamari, and it is an honor to be here today to be a voice for the people of Iran. For the last 47 years, Iranian people have been living in a hell. And as President Trump said, no one knows what Iranian people have gone through. And so we are here to be their voice, because for the first time in 47 years, there is a president who is taking the side of the Iranian people. Thank you, Trump. Thank you, Trump. Thank you, Trump. But we also want President Trump to know that the job is not over yet. There is a reason that the Islamic regime has shut down the internet, silencing the voices of 90 million people. So, while 90 million Iranians inside the country are silenced, we will be their voice. And we will continue to say, President Trump, finish the job. 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 No regime change until King Reza Pahlavi, the leader of the Sun Revolution, returns to Iran. So finally, I just want to say, Am Yisrael Chai, God bless America, Hayande Iran, and Javid Shah! Javid Shah! Javid Shah! درود به شرفتون.
سپاس از کلیه قمری گرامی. دوستان وقت ما یه مقدار محدود.
Goldie, I'm so happy that you shared this with the first part. Can I explain to the people? Because the first part, I didn't see that. I think people should know that let me remember the things that they mentioned. They said, Omida Mai. So they were telling Goldie that she is their hope. She said, they said, Durud Basharafet, basically saying, like, they celebrating her honor. And also saying Ba Sharaf, which means honorable. So that was so beautiful to watch. So I'm glad that you showed us the beginning parts, Goldie. Thank you for that.
It was really nice. Honestly, I was really, really honored, and I was humbled, and I was a little bit embarrassed. I was like, oh my gosh, thank you guys. So no, it was very nice.
Amazing. And the speech was 10 out of 10. Like we already watched that earlier, and I just want to say, like, that was a perfect speech.
Thank you. Yeah, speeches like that, I never really know what I'm going to say because I didn't have anything written down. I just speak from the heart. So
that's what makes them so good, because you're just saying what you really believe, and it just shows that it's coming from the heart.
Thank you. Very kind of you to say. So there you go. That's like the full version. I was happy that I managed to find a full version of my speech. So, yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, Armin, I know it's getting late. We did start late, of course, because of my YouTube situation. I still don't know what happened. I'm not gonna let this up. I'm not gonna let this go because I want to find out what exactly happened and why, because I want to make sure it never happens again to me or anyone else, right? Because this was completely unacceptable. But it's definitely good to be back. And guys, tomorrow we're going to go back to our regular schedule. And Armin, thank you for staying around and
of course. I also want to thank everybody who was helping us trying to get the attention of YouTube, all the people who retweeted your post, all the people who contributed to trying to bring attention to this, and also especially David Wood. So just thank you guys. You guys were really, really supportive, and thank you to everybody who did something to try to amplify the situation. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you. No, thank you guys so much. Like, you guys really, really helped amplify on X, and you guys basically helped make this trending. Like, I was trending for a while on X. It was one of the major trending things. So hopefully we'll get some answers. And I really did put YouTube on blast with my video because I called out that disgusting mullah that talks about taking American, female American.
Yes, I saw that. I was so happy that you were showing that.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, you want to censor me? Fine, I'll come after you, YouTube. I know exactly what to say. So there you go.
Yeah.
Remember that? That was a video you shared, remember? So
yeah. I was like, oh my God, she's showing Akhundan. I have a history with that guy, by the way. Like, I'm not going to go into the details of that, but
he's so
I was like, oh my, yeah. He was on my show twice.
Ew, you had
Turban
him on
channel.
your show. Ew.
Twice. I debated him twice.
You know,
Yeah.
Armin, you have way more thick skin than me. Like, I would never be able to tolerate that. But guys, this is why
Yeah.
Armin, see, this is the difference between Armin and me. Armin will follow all the garbage accounts because he wants to know how they're thinking. He wants to expose them. He wants to, like, you know, like basically put them in a corner. Meanwhile, me, I don't have any patience for the garbage accounts. I just block. I'm like, block, 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 block. So that's the difference
Wait.
between me and Armin. But Armin,
Wait, look at. Yeah, people are saying no, Armin, gross Armin. Guys, why do you think I have all of this information regarding the Durka stuff that I keep giving you guys? Like, why are you upset? That's how I know these things.
Guys, you need to be thanking Armin for doing the dirty work that none of us want to do, right? We don't have the patience to do the dirty work. Armin does. Armin actually goes in there and he does the dirty work. He does the research. Armin is our Durka whisperer, right?
Yeah.
You can't be a Durka whisperer if you don't know how to speak with the Durkas. So good job, Armin. Keep up the great work.
You.
That's how
Thank
we
you,
expose
thank
them. So,
Oh, thank you.
all right, guys. So, thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
I'm Israel Chai. Long live America.
Bless America.
Javicha Payandera.
See you guys tomorrow.
غرق انقلاب است. کشور ما، تاریخ ما در سیدگر فرا گرفته، گویی اهورا مستا دوباره در نور خود مرا گرفته. اکنون سرودی سر میدهم باز فارغ از رنج و تشویش، ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. هن ای پدر، هن ای پسر، برخیز و با ما شو همگام، تا درد آن تجربه تلخ ما را نکشیده در آب. بگذار هر دم بغرند گرگ‌ها دم لباس میش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. ای کارگر، ای برزگر، راحت کنون ادامه دارد در این زمان که پرتو یزدان از هر سو بر تو میبارد. پس پیش به سوی آزادی از بحر خزر تا کیش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. خلقا به پا بهر دفاع از استقلال و آزادی، تا بشکنیم پشت ارتجاع تیریزی ویران آبادی. تا زنده سازیم سنت‌های پی از قلب آیین و کیش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. با امید روزی که تمام این دلبشو انقلاب تموم بشه و ما در روشنایی، نور و سعادت مردم کشورمون غرق بشیم. نه خارجی، نه بیگانه، نه مستشارهای ویرانی، نه جیر خاران، نه کاسه لیسان، فقط هم رزمان ایرانی. ما با شرافت به پیش ایران غرق انقلاب است به پیش به پیش به پیش مردان بیایی داخل صف ما اکنون که آغاز رویاست دشمنان بدانید ما زنده هستیم بعد از ما هم ایران پابرجاست آن روح شیطان ما را فریب داد با صد شعار مردمیش ایران غرق انقلاب است به پیش به پیش به پیش ایران غرق انقلاب است به پیش به پیش به پیش پرچم ما پرچم ایران غرق خون شهیدان روی شانه هامان حمل می‌کنیمش در هر خیابان و میدان تا ماسک دلقکان را برداریم از روی تسبیح و ریش ایران غرق انقلاب است به پیش به پیش به پیش